Hello, friends. Welcome to Story Behind Podcast. This is the show for people who love hearing a good story and who believe the world could use more positivity. We're the team behind God Updates and God Too, and we hope these weekly short stories will brighten your day.
Mom gives birth to baby and becomes the winner of the lottery all on the same day. Written by Heather Riggleman, read by Adam State. A blessed mom gives birth to a baby and becomes a lottery winner all on the same day. Having a child is a rich blessing and it lasts a lifetime. Becoming a mother is worth more than all the money in the world, but in the case of Brenda Gomez Hernandez, she might be doubly blessed. Brenda might have already been wondering how she would make ends meet after welcoming her daughter into the world. Before becoming a mother, Brenda worked as a housekeeper. When I found out, I cried. I'm just so excited and happy, she said. On the day of her daughter's birth, she used her daughter's birthday and her two other children's birthdays. We believe there was more than luck unfolding for this special mom. She was richly blessed by our mighty God, who provides for all needs. The Bible is filled with stories where God provided in some way. Elijah was fed by ravens in 2 Kings 17:2. The Lord fed the Israelites manna and quail in Exodus 16. It's easy to listen to the voice of doubt and give in to our fears, especially when we are responsible for the precious lives of our children. We want our children to have the best of everything and to know they are safe and loved. I imagine Brenda was having doubts about how she would provide for all three of her children until the Lord provided for her. Brenda says she plans to take the winnings and pay off her house. After the taxes, she will be taking home $65,015. May this news story remind us of all the ways the Lord does provide for us on a daily basis. While you and I may not win the lottery, we can be thankful for the air in our lungs, our health, and the ability to pay our bills. We can be thankful the Lord provides love, shelter, and solace in His arms when we need it too. But my God shall supply all your need according to His riches in glory by Christ Jesus. Philippians 4:19.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's Medi-Share. Maybe you've heard switching to Medi-Share to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for Medi-Share is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. Medi-Share works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. 888-SHARE-19. That's 888-SHARE-19. 888-SHARE-19.
Christians should be serious about our faith. But does that mean we need to be serious people all the time? Especially in a world of weird, absurd stuff? And even when Christian culture gets crazy? I'm Barnabas Piper of the Happy Rant Podcast, where we cheerfully rant about pop culture, church culture, work, creativity, life, and just about everything. But we take Jesus seriously. Listen and subscribe at lifeaudio.com.
Dan fell overboard from cruise ship, kept himself alive with thoughts of his 9-year-old daughter. Written by Haley Wales, read by Adam State. As James Michael Grimes, a 28-year-old man who fell overboard a cruise ship, tread water for 18 hours, thoughts of his 9-year-old daughter occupied his mind and motivated him to hold on until rescue arrived, and his inspirational short story is truly amazing. 28-year-old James Michael Grimes joined 17 loved ones on a Thanksgiving cruise, but he only enjoyed one evening before facing what he says was his greatest fear. A construction worker from Valley, Alabama, James was looking forward to a relaxing cruise to Cozumel as he boarded the Carnival Valor in New Orleans on November 23, 2022. After the ship left port, James had a few beers and wine, and a drink that he won during an air guitar competition, but then something terrible happened. After leaving the bar that evening, the man fell overboard from the cruise ship and into the Gulf of Mexico. James has no recollection of the fall, but he remembers regaining consciousness in the water. He told People, "The next thing I remember is waking up in the water. The boat was out of sight. I thought, wow, this is for real. I'm out here in the sea." James has no explanation for how he survived during the time he was unconscious in the water, other than divine intervention. "I can't float even when I'm trying to, so the Lord was with me when I was out there," he said. It's hard to imagine surviving more than a few minutes in those waters with nothing but the clothes on your back, but miraculously, James did. "Drowning has always been my biggest fear," he said, so I told myself I wouldn't stop swimming. Thoughts of his daughter provided the motivation James needed to keep swimming and treading water for 18 hours. James recalled, "I kept thinking about how badly I wanted to see my 9-year-old daughter Annabeth while making up songs that I sang to her." What James probably didn't realize is that no one was even looking for him until the next day when his sister realized he was missing. Carnival and the U.S. Coast Guard began searching immediately, and amazingly, they found James still alive. While drifting alone in the water, the man who fell overboard from the cruise ship encountered 2 groups of jellyfish, which stung him all over his arms and legs. And he came dangerously close to what he believed was a shark. The fish brushed up against him. James kicked at it, and the shark swam on, but it was terrifying. As the sun set, James, badly sunburned by now, began shivering. But he spotted 2 cruise ships. He swam for hours to get closer to the vessels, and he finally did. Someone on the deck of one of those ships spotted James as he yelled for help. One person threw a life preserver to James, and he soon was in a basket and being airlifted from the water into safety. James found both physical and emotional strength during his ordeal. He knows that God was with him during those long hours in the ocean. He said, "I'm still bruised up and sore, but it's a miracle I survived. It wasn't my time to die. I'm grateful to see my family again." If James didn't have plenty to be grateful for from when he began that Thanksgiving cruise, he certainly does now. "I can do all things through him who strengthens me." I can do all things through him who gives me strength. Philippians 4:13.
Thank you so much for listening to Story Behind Podcast. We're really glad you joined us for this week's story. To see photos and videos that may have been referenced in this episode, check out the links in the show notes. And if you enjoyed what you heard today, subscribe to our podcast, and please tell a friend about us. We'd also love it if you'd rate us and leave us a review. It really does help more people find us. Story Behind is a Salem Web Network production.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's Medi-Share. Maybe you've heard switching to Medi-Share to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for Medi-Share is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. Medi-Share works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. 888-SHARE-19. That's 888-SHARE-19. 888-SHARE-19.